Now we're going to speak with our friend Christine Ramirez, the director of New Hope Arts, and you brought someone with you today. Who did you bring with you?
I did. I brought my friend Righteous Jolly, who's an actor and playwright, who's coming up to do some stuff at New Hope Arts.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you, Sergeantsville?
Good to...
it's like Surgeonsville.
Surgeonsville. First time here.
Well, I don't know why
they Jolly.
Surgeonsville. I'm glad we got to that.
Did we go? No, that's right. Because this is the old saying of the word sergeant.
Is that right?
Yeah, sergeant.
Sergeant.
You learn something new every day.
So do you prefer Righteous or Mr. Jolly?
Righteous is my name on the birth certificate, so that's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So tell us what's going on and with you in New Hope Arts.
Sure. Well, right now we're very excited to have our 25th annual Works in Wood show. Mm-hmm. It started in 1999 by our founder, Robin Larson. Back then, we did not have our space that we have today. Right. It was, she would borrow the space and have pop-ups. Mm-hmm. And just to honor the tradition of woodworking in Bucks County, people like George Nakashima and Philip Powell and Robert Whitley and all of the greats from, the 1900s. And so that started, and we have been doing it annually ever since. And we've been in our space at 2 Stockton Avenue doing this show since 2004.
Right, and I've been to. I know some of the other people, David and Horowitz and Judith Marchand and some other of the other folks there. You can sit back and pull the microphone to you. You don't have to lean forward like that.
Pull
the
chairs.
mic. Pull the mic.
Good chairs.
Pull the mic down towards you.
Every week I come in and do this. I go home, and for some reason these chairs, which are supposed to be so great, bother the out of my back.
Yeah,
yeah, and I don't even know why.
Like why you're here now, or the ones at your house?
No, these.
Yeah. Oh, I like it quite a bit.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
All right. So, and when does that go now? When does that?
So it opened on the 18th of October, and it goes until December 1st.
Right.
We are open Friday through Sunday from noon to 5. Mm-hmm. Although I am there most days, so when I'm there, the door's open, and people are welcome to come up and see the show. Right. If they see the door open.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So this year we have 53 artists in our show, and most of our shows are juried shows, and we show between, 30 and sometimes 100 artists at a time, which is pretty fantastic for the regional artists.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So how does the man called Righteous fit into that picture?
Yes.
So Righteous came to me. Well, actually, I came to him when I became the executive director, and I wanted to put together a theater committee because I wanted to reintroduce performing arts to the space.
Nice.
We haven't had it in over a decade, and I think it's really important to embrace all of the arts, visual, literary, performing, and so when I became executive director, I reached out to my friend Righteous and I said, hey, I want help putting some stuff into New Hope Arts that's going to be performative and exciting. And he said, well, guess what? I have a musical that I wrote that I would love.
I wrote it so quickly.
He wrote it on the spot.
Yeah.
No, it's something
I'm working on it right now.
And it's Christmas themed, so we blocked out December, and we are having 2 different performances coming to New Hope Arts in December for the holiday season. One of them is called Santa, 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 and it's a short family comedy by JaQuinley Kerr, very kid-oriented, family-oriented. There's going to be a holiday sing-along afterwards with milk and cookies.
Cool. When is that? When will that be?
That is December 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Yep.
Are there tickets? Are there tickets that people need to buy in advance?
Yep. Yes. So those are available on our website,
which is
at newhopearts.org.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And forgive me, let me clarify. That's the 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Okay.
And that's Santa, 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 if I may.
Yes, please
yes,
go for it.
Really sweet. A brand new piece, which is so important to New Hope Arts, procuring and producing new works,
right.
As it's always new work there. That's what Christine does. And so we're just following suit with performing arts. So it's a short play, as Christine mentioned, a family-oriented play about a mall Santa who's losing the spirit, and he works with a little elf, and he find his spirit? You'll have to come see.
Okay.
So it's about 30 minutes, and then afterwards, milk and cookies and a sing-along with the 3 actors, which will be
great.
Quite fun.
Yeah, because I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old grandson,
Perfect,
and I'm thinking it just sounds perfect.
Yeah,
30 minutes is like
30. Right. That's
there we
Yes,
go.
exactly.
That's a sweet spot.
Yes, and then when Christine had brought me in and asked if I may. I had a lot of ideas, of course. I'm really bursting at the seams, to be honest.
Okay.
And although it wasn't my intention to attempt to sell her my particular show, which is called a Levittown Christmas Carol, we're doing it the week after Santa, Santa, Santa.
Okay.
But when she said the opportunity is going to be in December, I thought, well, this is kismet, and it's going to work. And so I let her know about the play. I produced it last year in Lower Bucks County. First time I had a ticketed event, I sold it out, which I'm really encouraged about. We sold out 2 shows only. And Christine has given us the opportunity to have 4 performances this year, which I'm really excited about. And tickets are on sale now, and they are selling, and I do expect to sell out. So, good things.
Mm-hmm. And how much would the tickets be?
For Santa, 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 they are
20.
20,
I believe.
Yes, and maybe a discount for members.
Yep.
And then $30 for the Levittown Christmas Carol,
okay.
And a discount for members as well. It's an all-original musical with a full band, and there's a cast of 12. Okay. So, really shooting for the stars here. We could have went for something a little smaller.
I was going to say, it's kind of a smaller space, right?
It's an ample space for sure. It will be 150 seats, as we decided. 200 would be sardines. So it is ample. The stage is quite nice, though. And, when you work wherever, having a space, proscenium, having an elevated play space, that feels like enough, And, we're going to rally, and we brought so many people together. We have a set designer. It's a set. We have a set, which is really, really very exciting.
Was this like a new idea for you, right?
Can you imagine a set? So I'm very excited about where last year we did it at a brewery, and we were at the whim of what they had set up. But Christine's been so supportive. It does seem like things are moving in the right direction, really.
Okay. And people can get tickets for these things at newhopearts.org. Okay. Yep. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up, and how did you get into what you're doing now?
Thanks. I was born in Trenton, and I grew up in Lower Bucks County, mostly, Levittown. And I went to school for theater in New York City, graduated in 2003. I've worked quite a bit and always stayed busy. Lost some time for a while, but then sort of regained focus. But then I became domesticated, and my dream is still very much alive. There's something in my belly that's not satiated. And so as I've gotten older, and I'm married and I have a couple little ones at home in Bucks County, I realized that if anything's going to happen for me, I have to make my own opportunity. And that's when I really pivoted to this project. And I brought up my partner on, who wrote all the music, David Shaw. And it's a really interesting and transcendent piece. It is a play on A Christmas Carol, but we wrote a new protagonist completely. And we tell 2 different narratives at the same time. So it's a really unique play on A Christmas Carol.
Okay, very interesting.
Yes.
All right. So tell us now what else is coming on, like after the holidays. You have things planned already, I guess?
Yeah, yep. We have a pretty full 2025 calendar.
Okay.
It will be including some more performative arts, and we're very excited about that. Those are sort of coming to light as we move forward, but initially, in the beginning of 2025 in January, we'll have our annual member show. So it's time to become a member if you're not, if you'd like to be involved in that show. We usually have about 100 artists who participate in that show. And then we have, what do we have in February? Well, we have a show called The Art Amplified.
Okay.
Sorry. It's a show about music and art together and how they sort of...
This symbiosis.
Yeah, the symbiosis.
Way they live together.
Yes. And we have a call out for artists right now, and it's art themed around music or inspired by music or done by musicians. I mean, it's a very loose interpretation.
Yeah.
We will be including some live music into some events during the show.
Okay.
So that's a very cool project that I'm working with a couple of other guys with.
I want to stay on the performative aspect for a minute,
Sure.
okay? Because I'm intrigued by it because we do a lot of talking about things and events going on in the area. And clearly, woodworking has a long history here. Painting has even a longer, deeper history in the region and its impact on the world of art, period. But we don't talk a lot about performative art. And I happen to be a really big fan of live stage, which is arcane at this point. It's what is that? Oh, that's Lisa Bouchel singing a song. No, those are musicians performing. But we don't think in performative terms anymore. So now that I've got you sitting here, Righteous, I just want to talk to you about that for a minute.
Sure.
Because I would really like your perspective on that and where you would like to take it.
Well, we talked about this pretty early on, and if I stay in harmony with New Hope Arts, and I hope to, of course, I have a particular creative voice, and I want it to be heard. Of course, it's collaborative. I want it to be new. I want it to be visceral. I want it to be evocative.
Well, that for me has always been the power of a true performative piece.
To be moved.
It should be emotional. It should be evocative.
I don't want
right?
you personally, and I know that Christine feels this way, so I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. You ought to leave with a feeling. Because for me, I like to be humbled and challenged by any particular art that I've witnessed, that I see, that I discover, that I feel. And why shouldn't it be the same in particular for performing arts live?
Right.
So that is truly the goal for me. And then how we whittle that down as the collaborators together and as the team is assembled. So to get new work, I would encourage people as you're listening to submit work
ideas
and it is an
projects.
It's an open space, and if you are sitting on something and you are timid, perhaps you listening to this right now, there's something in your belly you can relate, a fire, an idea that hasn't come to fruition, but you believe in it. Well, maybe New Hope Arts and we could help facilitate something in that regard, because the space is ample. And there is a deep support system. It's obviously esteemed New Hope. It's an esteemed member, an esteemed of New Hope for many, many years. So
this ain't no interloper. It's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's well known.
Yeah,
and there's great support. So
yes,
that's my plan. Is to create a feeling that will stick with you, and we'll see what happens.
No, it's fun. Okay. It's great. And a woman I used to be good friends with and used to collaborate with out on the West Coast a long time ago in another life of mine. Where I was an actor, she has continued to kind of explore the performative space out in Los Angeles with music and different ideas, and I only mention her name because she's one of the few people I know that is actually kind of playing in that space still. And I think it's Bill's opinion. Yeah. It's a loss. This is a loss because the original idea of the Greek chorus, when you go back, it was those were emotional, emotional moments, and they were experienced in a group way.
Sure,
like we sort of once upon a time did in movie theaters, but not quite, but definitely not the same. There's something more raw and more immediate about live theater.
Absolutely, and particularly when it's good and well executed. Yeah. And and even if it's a little off, but it's raw, you'll leave with something.
Yeah.
If the content or the subject matter or a particular actor, there's a lot of merit to be found if it's well produced, and that's the goal. You said Lisa Bushell before, didn't you say that?
Yes.
I know that name.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, she was in here earlier.
Is that right?
Yeah,
is that why you
she
said
was in
that?
here earlier. Yeah,
I was wondering what an interesting
Lisa.
pool.
Yeah.
My brain is like really shallow. This the stuff that's like right in the immediate Bay
she's
Area.
Wonderful.
She's great.
Very prolific.
Oh, she's great. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a friend of mine. She's been on my music
she's
show
amazing.
in
Really?
3 years. Yeah,
I've seen her name for many, many, many years
You should
in
check her out.
similar circles and stuff.
Okay, so getting back to now this piece, how did you go about writing it, and how long did it take to put together and all that?
So for A Levittown Christmas Carol, the musical that we're doing in the third week of December, for about 10 years, my last name is Jolly, as it may have been mentioned, and that's my father's name. And I'm not always, but I've done a holiday show for 10 years.
But the expectation has been created, right?
There, so I got to roll with it. So for about 10 years in Bucks County at a brewery, I had a show, music. It was what you would call a review. So we did popular music.
Okay.
And sometimes told a story. Sometimes it turned into an Andy Kaufman thing, and it was a real sort of cerebral and bizarre. But I always left a feeling. You understand? That was my goal. Then I pivoted to a Christmas Carol, a Levittown Christmas Carol, and I just hired one actor. It was mostly improvised, and it was fun and successful. No tickets. Then we did that again, but I cast all the characters as you would know in the sort of Dickens universe, the Cratchit, the Ghost, the 1, 2, and 3, etc. And then I also used the venue that we were at. I very wisely, I think, used the people who worked there, so it brought more people in.
Okay.
Now, the bass player in the band that I hired was extremely inspired by it, and he's my buddy Dave. He wrote 16 songs in 9 months.
Wow.
He was on a tear.
Wow.
He was on a tear. A blessing and a curse, no doubt.
Right.
And if you trust that the music is so dope, it is so very good, and it evokes such spirit, I can't believe it. So we started working, rewrote the script, added a new protagonist. So essentially, there is a lead character who's writing the Levittown Christmas Carol. He's Chuck. Okay. He's at a job that he doesn't care for. He's got a fire in his belly and he wants more out of life. He's in love with Grace. Grace works at the same diner. The name of the diner is the Golden John. Okay. And she's from, quote, the other side of the tracks. She's a young black woman who grew up in Lower Bucks County, but was not allowed, her family was not allowed to live in Levittown until the Voting Rights Housing Act of 1968. Right. This is a story in Levittown that needs to be told. And so we get into that a little bit, and her dream comes true. Chuck's dream comes true, although it's adjacent, and we at the same time tell the story of Scrooge, who was a derelict bar owner in the heart of Levittown. Ghost 1 is a headbanger from 1986. Okay. Ghost 2 is a reformed juvenile delinquent who sells nice cream now. And Ghost 3 is our M. Night Shyamalan. I can't tell you about it. You have to come see what happens. Okay. So
wow.
It's a really, really special piece.
This is great.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
I'm going to have to see this here. Yeah, no, that's terrific.
Yes, big things. Big, you got to go for shoot for the stars, right? Land near the moon. Right. So that's the plan.
Yeah. Okay. And tell us again when this will play and how people can get tickets.
Sure. So that's on December 19th, 20th, 21st, and the 22nd is a matinee. And you can get tickets at newhopearts.org.
.org. Okay.
Right. And of course, Santa, because my show is, I'd say, 14 and up. So let's give that disclaimer. Okay. There is some adult language and some themes that perhaps, would not be in vogue for particular households.
Right.
But Santa, the week prior, 13th, 14th, and 15th, is a super sweet show for families. So we got something for everyone, as they say.
Okay.
Very good.
And they can find all this information at newhopearts.org.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. And so what are you working on for after the holidays now, Christine? You've talked about some of the things coming up, but how far ahead do you usually plan?
So we're planned all the way through, but I have left some windows for things, a couple weeks here and there where we can slide in some performing arts. Okay. And in my mind, that encompasses more than just theater. It's maybe dance or poetry slams or cabarets, or it's all encompassing. So that is something that our theatrical committee is going to have to work out. Okay. But we're getting there. And I also have a lot of collaborations coming up with other nonprofits from the area. I'm collaborating with New Hope Celebrates for the month of Pride Month in June. Right. and we're collaborating with New Hope Historical Society in September for a show about historic buildings.
Okay.
So there's a lot of collaborations. I'm of the ilk that everyone working together makes everyone stronger. So especially for nonprofits.
Right.
So there's a lot of outreach and collaboration going on. So that we're really excited.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know I've known you for a while, but how did you get into New Hope Arts? How did that come about?
So I have been affiliated with New Hope Arts, for 20 years. I started in 2004. I was fresh out of art school, and I was an artist, a working artist who was doing commissions, portraits specifically.
Right.
And on the side, I was also working at John & Peters. And John Larson, the owner of John & Peters, was married to Robin Larson, who founded New Hope Arts.
Right.
And Robin, I don't know, fell in love with me and was like, and John will, until he passed, he would joke around that she stole me from him. And she took me over, and I became her assistant, and I learned so many things from her as her assistant for 6 years, and then she died unexpectedly. And then we took on Carol Cruikshanks as the executive director, and I worked alongside her for many, many years, and that was great. And then I actually left for a year, and I went to the Michener Art Museum as New Hope Arts closed for renovations, because I needed a job.
Right, of course.
and it actually ended up being a really wonderful opportunity for me, and I learned so much over there. And when I found out that Carol was retiring, I came and threw my hat in the ring and said, this is my dream, and I would love to run this place. So here I am.
Okay. Yeah, Carol Cruikshanks is a good friend of ours. She's been out with us plenty of times. I've known her. So, all right. So we only got about 4 minutes left. What else can you tell us about what we can find out at New Hope Arts?
I was going to say, too, because Christine mentioned, if anyone's listening is peripherally familiar with New Hope Arts and you haven't been there in a while, you did mention how it was renovated.
Yes.
So I had done a play reading there years ago and then hadn't been back, and it's beautiful. Like, so when you were saying, how is the space? It's conducive. It's extremely conducive for so many things, and performing arts in particular. It looks really beautiful, and it's getting better all the time. As it seemingly in my short time here. So make sure you come in and just come check out the space.
And I like hearing that, because it's like, once upon a time, a long time ago, I was into performance art. And and I performed in small spaces, right?
You do it,
and right. And the idea of like performing in a 99-seat theater was like, we're smoking now, man.
Yeah, right.
We got 99 people here. Are you kidding me? So that's why I was curious, because I have not seen the renovated performance space.
Yeah,
which is why I'm,
It is certainly more thus far, and perhaps it will remain that way via Christine's vision. It is a gallery space. I think that there's a lot of room, my opinion, and Christine seems to be edging that way, especially with working up to these shows, that the space could be multifunctional. It has been multifunctional.
Yes, absolutely.
But it is it's a stage, baby. Like, give me a stage, and we can change the world.
Yep.
Yeah. New Hope Arts is one of these places. I've been there probably 6 times in the last 3 months.
That's awesome.
Every time I passed by, Rita Gecht was there. I ran into her. She's a friend of ours, too. I ran into her, and she showed me some things. And it's just one of the places you have to go check it out. It's so easy to get to.
Yeah, pop in, right?
Definitely go there.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't think the door is going to be open much longer, because it's going to get cold.
It's going to get cold, but maybe I'll put a sign that says, come in.
Hey, come in. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And again, all this information will be on the Let's Talk WDVR Facebook page later on tonight. Thank you very much, Christine Ramirez and Righteous Jolly. Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you.
We'll see you again soon, I'm sure.
Yes, please.
And always a lot going on. Check out WDVRFM.org. Go to the community bulletin board page. All kinds of stuff going on in the Great River Towns area. Be back with more of Let's Talk in just a few minutes.